I was 17 years old, I was offered $32,000 worth of music scholarships. So if I can do it, then you can do it too. So listen, to give you a little bit of background about me, I do not come from money. I come from a humble middle-class family. My parents are immigrants from Mexico, and we have to work extra hard for the things that we have. So today I'm going to share my story, how I got $32,000 worth of music scholarships and how you can too. Hi, so today I'm going to share with you the story on how I was able to receive $32,000 worth of music scholarships. So again, these are music scholarships based on an audition, not merit-based scholarships, not FAFSA, not grants. These are just based on music performance. So in this video, I'm going to share my music background, my senior year, and essentially what the audition requirements were, what I did to prepare for auditions, how much each school offered me, and any advice I have for any of you guys that want to receive a music scholarship as well. Alright, first things first, my music background, because I think it's important to note how long I've been playing clarinet. So I first started playing clarinet when I was in 5th grade or about 10 years old. So I started school early, which meant I graduated early. I've been a year ahead or whatever. So I was about 10 years old, and I've always loved music, and I've always been in band. So from the time I was in 5th grade all the way through high school, I was in my high school band, middle school band, and I was always playing. So I always loved music, and I always was very eager to challenge myself. So even in high school, I auditioned for the all-region band when I was 14 years old and got in freshman all the way through senior year. So I've always just been very, very passionate about music and always wanting to kind of like further my music education to become a really good player, the best player that I could be. So I've always been involved in music. It's funny, I actually remember the moments when I knew I wanted to pursue music. I was a freshman in high school, and I just loved marching band so much, and that was my first year in the all-region band, playing with so many talented people in my district, and I knew at that moment that music was something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I remember freshman year, Julie had this dream of attending a university and pursuing my degree in music. So freshman year, I knew that's what I wanted to do, and that is what I was going to prepare for. So now I'm going to talk about my senior year, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. High school was so hard for me. So I was going through, some personal stuff, and I actually had to battle with depression, anxiety, and it was just a really bad time for me in high school. And because of that, my grades suffered tremendously. So I would receive like C's and D's in like my math and science classes. I even failed Algebra 2, I think, my junior year. I was just, really bad mental health, and I was just fighting to, pass my classes, really. So to make things even worse, around my junior year, when it was time for me to apply for the FAFSA, or the free application for federal student aid, essentially the Department of Education was like, oh, you're middle class, you're fine. So I actually ended up not qualifying for any Pell Grants. I was honestly so surprised because I am 1 out of 4 kids. Yeah, anyway, so I had just qualified for loans, and doing the math and trying to figure everything out, I knew that I would not be able to attend college just on FAFSA. The loans that I qualified for were not enough to cover the cost of tuition. I remember at this point I had like a 2.8, 2.9 GPA. There was no way I could get that up higher to qualify for merit-based scholarships or the scholarships they give seniors based on good grades. There was no way I was going to qualify for any of that. So no merit-based scholarships, no grants. My loans weren't going to be able to cover it. And I was put in that situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to go to college. You guys, my heart sunk when I saw those numbers because going to college was my dream, and attending a music school was my dream, and it was something that I wanted so badly. So, of course, I went online and was doing research on various scholarships and things like that. So I was living in Arizona at the time, and I checked all 3 major in-state universities, so NAU, ASU, U of A, and all of them said, Basically, if you do a good enough audition, we will consider you for scholarships. Listen, after everything I went through in high school, everything I suffered, I wanted this so bad. And I knew at that point I wasn't gonna give up right away. I knew I had to try, okay? And I remember, I think it was my junior year, I remember coming home and telling my mom, like, listen, I am going to get a music scholarship, no matter what it takes. And I remember I was so desperate to make it work. And I knew it was something that I had to work really hard for, but I wasn't gonna give up just yet. I was gonna try. So at this point, I think I had about a year to prepare for college auditions. So here are the audition requirements that I had to do. So again, my goal was to audition for the 3 major in-state universities in Arizona. So University of Arizona was my top choice, my dream school. Then ASU, or Arizona State University. And then the third school was Northern Arizona University, or NAU. So I checked their scholarships. No, I checked their audition requirements online, and essentially I had to prepare 2 contrasting pieces in all of my major scales. So I chose to prepare the Weber Clarinet Concertino and also the Rose Etude number 1 from the Rose Etude book. I also wanted to note that for a lot of these schools, if you wanted to obtain a music scholarship, it is expected that you're obtaining a music degree. So for me, I knew I wanted to do either music education or music performance, so I just wanted to add that in as well. So this is what I did to prepare for auditions. So at this point, I knew I had my solos picked out. I have a year to prepare, and I'm thinking I need some help. And due to the competitiveness of, obtaining a music scholarship based on your audition, I knew that I needed to find someone in order to help me prepare. So what we did is we actually sent an email to the music professor at the University of Arizona and basically asked if he had any recommendations for any teachers. So that is where I found my private teacher during my senior year of high school, was through him. So this teacher was actually a current student at the University of Arizona, obtaining his doctoral degree in clarinet performance. So this was very exciting because I ended up taking lessons at my dream school. So I got to go and look around the practice rooms and talk to him about, being a student there. And the best thing about it was because he was a current student at my dream school, I was really able to kind of learn from him the skills that I needed in order to do well for my audition. So I'm so thankful for my parents because they were able to help me with the finances to obtain bi-weekly clarinet lessons, sometimes twice a month when we were able to. So I really, really love these private lessons because they're more personalized as to where you need to grow as a musician. So through these private lessons, I was able to learn fundamentals, and it's more advanced than your average band class. And I honestly learned so much, and he helped me so much. And to this day, I am so thankful for all that I had learned. So guys, also I wanted to mention, I hustled my senior year. I worked so hard. I was 16, turning 17 during my senior year of high school, and I remember at that moment in time, that was the hardest I have ever worked in my entire life. I literally would go home every single day, practice. Weekends, I was practicing. Holidays, I was practicing, and I even skipped out on my winter formal because I was practicing so much. I wanted this so bad, so I put in some really hard work, super duper hard work. So it was finally time for my auditions. So I ended up doing my auditions in February and March of 2016. So this was during my senior year. So I traveled, I think it was ASU was my first audition, then it was NAU, and then the last one was U of A, which again, U of A was my top choice. It was in my hometown, and I was able to do that one last to have more time to practice. So my auditions came and went, and I think a lot of them went very well. At least I remember I was most satisfied with my U of A audition because there was this part in the concertino that I always messed up on. And in my audition, it was one of the best times I played it. And I was like, yes, hopefully this is a sign from the universe. But anyway, I did my auditions, and then the waiting period began. And honestly, I remember those were the worst couple of weeks, just kind of waiting to hear back to see how I did. Because again, this was my only chance I had at going to my dream university obtaining my dream degree. And oh my gosh, I just remember those weeks were torture. And then I got my scholarship offers. So again, I'm being completely transparent with you guys and what I received, and I'll also include some screenshots if I can find them. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in order of what I received from every school. Okay, so first one, Arizona State University, ASU. I got $0. I think that was my first audition. I was very nervous, and honestly, it's a very competitive studio. So I'm not too surprised, and plus I didn't really want to move to Phoenix. No hate to Phoenix. I just didn't want to move there, okay? So then the second school, NAU, I was offered $2,000 a year or $8,000 in total over the course of 4 years. And then I received an offer letter from the University of Arizona that literally changed my life. Oh my gosh, I get chills every time I talk about it. Like, I remember where I was when I got that offer. I was in my college algebra class, second period during my senior year. And I got an email basically saying that I had earned a scholarship of $6,000 a year, $24,000 in total at the University of Arizona, my dream school. Oh my gosh, I get like the chills talking about it. So my dream school basically offered me enough scholarship to basically get half off tuition. Like, that was literally half off tuition. And every time I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, all that hard work, especially at one point, I didn't even think I would be able to go to college. So that was such a fulfilling moment for me because, again, I'm not exaggerating when I said that offer letter changed my life because, of course, I attended the University of Arizona and I had the best clarinet professor, the best clarinet studio. Like, I had a wonderful college experience. I met my best friends, and guys, I even met my husband at the University of Arizona. And I am honestly just so thankful to this day of that experience of, you know, working really hard like I did in high school, because I needed that to be able to work hard in college because it's not easy. But I'm very thankful because that was something that I was able to obtain for myself. I worked so hard for that, and I am just so thankful that I was given the opportunity to go to such a wonderful school. And to think that I almost missed out on those opportunities, like, it's crazy how life works. Like, where would I be if I never went? You know what I mean? Like, again, anytime I think about that, like, I'm always just filled with gratitude that I was able to go to my dream school and I was able to go to college with a 2.8 GPA, despite, you know, all the depression, despite all the hard times, like, despite everything. Like, 17-year-old me, like, we did it. And again, I'm just so thankful, so thankful, and I will forever be thankful for that scholarship that I received. So yeah, I just wanted to share my personal story, and you know, it's a very personal story. It's sometimes hard to talk about, but I think just the outcome has left me with so many blessings that I wanted to share my story to hopefully help someone and to motivate you. Like, you literally can do it. You know what I mean? Like, you can do it if you really want to. It's gonna take some hard work, but you can obtain a music scholarship if you wanted to, my friend. So here is my advice to you on how you can obtain a music scholarship. Definitely join band at your school. Even if it's like not at your level, you learn so much by playing with other people. And my second point of advice is to get a private teacher. If you have the funds, I know it can be kind of expensive sometimes, even if you're able to go once a week, twice a week, no, not twice a week, twice a month, anything that you're able to obtain. Or you could also ask your band teacher, like, hey, can you stay with me for a couple minutes after school, help me pick out some solos? Like, your band teacher will be able to help you. Also, there is YouTube. YouTube is a really good resource to learn things, and definitely learn your scales. I know scales are boring and they're not fun, but they are so helpful, and know them really, really well. And there are free resources online where you're able to look at sheet music for scales. And also, it's never too early to start. So if you're watching this and, you're in 6th grade, or even if you're watching this and you're a bit older and you've always wanted to go back to school and obtain a music degree, it's never too late. It's never too early. Just make sure that you are very persistent and you are patient with yourself. So just to recap everything we talked about, again, I don't want to like share this to like brag or anything like that, but more so to inspire, because again, I had to work extra hard to be able to go to college. And I know this is a story that many of my closest friends probably don't even know. Like, guys, I almost didn't go to college. And again, I'm forever thankful for like the U of A for giving me that opportunity to go, and just changing my life completely. So guys, you can do it. Make sure you practice, make sure you're persistent, get a private teacher, learn your skills, and that is my advice. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions or want to learn a little bit more about the college audition process, or my time at music school, like, please drop them in the comments. I want to be able to help as many people as I can, and it would be lovely to meet you guys. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one.